Alright guys, we switched cameras. I left off at the point where I was saying that hopefully you guys don't mind if I'm talking. I think it breaks up a little bit of that whole just watching me work. Kind of talk and work. I do that a lot at work. We bullshit a lot. Anybody who works in a shop knows what it's like. Going on over here and moving my magic carpet. I don't like creepers. I got that comment from my buddy. Why don't I get a creeper? Not a fan of them. They move around a lot, and especially if you slip on one. I kind of have a bad back, so I just had a wrench, and this is the story of my life. So I'm off away from shit. Okay, yeah, kind of out of view here, but now I'm back. So. This bolt is nice and tight. Hopefully I can have this thing apart relatively fast. Alright. Holy shims. Great GM quality inside of these. Okay. I need this one's going to kind of suck. And I should throw a screwdriver up top to hold the fender because I think that's my last bolt. That will hold it from falling. I have to go on the inside of the car and not hit the cutlass. Wedged between the door and the pillar, and of course I don't have a lot of clearance over here, so I'm trying to wedge in between the door and the pillar and not hit the holes at the same time. So I'm going to kind of move the camera here just a little bit, see, hopefully I get it. Again, this is, since I don't get a preview, kind of guessing it. The lucky good thing is that this bottom bolt has a slot in the factory, so it should slide out. Working in tight quarters is nothing new. The body shop, it gets tight real fast. So working this bitch out. I'm going to just wave. I'm alive. Hey babe, weren't we looking for a phone charger? There's one right here. See?
Yeah, that's the one that we bought in California.
We find things in this car. All the time. Alright, maybe that's loose enough to slide this out. Hitting shit. Not quite. I got a plate at the bottom of the fender that's still bolted in. So let's go check that out. Keep that bolt down there. Pick up that charger because my wife was yelling at me about it. She's over here smirking about it. She probably left it in here the last time I went to the Grove with it. Yeah. So let's see what we got. We got a 10 mil, which I know I got out of here because that is the same size bolt as my battery terminal, the cutlass. I got one of them tiny AGM racing batteries, and actually both of these cars, but I made top posts for this one. Cutlass has 10mm bolts. Come on. Oh, there's that nut I was looking for the headlight bezels. There we go. What am I missing here? Nothing here. Nothing here. Something's catching us here. I'm going to guess it's going to be this wheel liner because it dips into the fender. Again. I do have an antenna to disconnect here, which I'm going to need a new one because I broke it. There we go. And normally, most people would probably want to count their shims, but for me, I'm realigning this whole front end, so I'm just going to start back from scratch. Jesus. Did not completely suck. So we'll go ahead and snap this up here. And at this point, I'm not really worried too much about damage on these because this car is going to get completely reworked at some point in its life. But this fuel line that I have in here with these anchored zip ties, they have the little Christmas tree clip in. They're pretty nice to use them at work. So, I bought a couple, and when I did my EFI, I hung everything on there. I'm going to have to start piling shit over here, because eventually all this stuff is going to find its way in my basement, because I don't have a lot of room here, as I mentioned in the other video, but yeah, this whole HVAC unit's going to go, all this wiring is going to get tossed. If I do end up putting heat back in it, I'm going to probably end up going with something like the retro kits they got. That are pretty nice, to be a little easier to work with, and I probably can lose a lot of this bulk, which is weight reduction. So, onto this side. And on this side, obviously, now we know that we have to move a couple of things beforehand. So, this side's a little tiny, working up against the wall. Move my bucket of coolant. So what I want to do first here, I have a battery tray I have to remove after I get this bolt out of here. There we go. It's a tight fit. Socket's not used much. Okay. Okay. So I'm keeping my hardware here. I know these are all fender bolts and stuff, so all that is just going to go in one bag. Best tools I ever bought in the shop, or for the shop, I should say. I've had it like 4 years, has not quit on me. Use it every day. At home, I don't have too many fancy tools. At work, I value my time. I need a little extension for that. It's got a weird angle. So I know I got a 1/4 inch extension because I just cleaned all my tools up. So well, so much for that plan. I can't find my 1/4 inch extension. So, again, ill prepared. But we'll forge through. We'll be alright. I will just have to step on shit apparently. Don't worry guys. We'll bust out the little 1/4 inch impact. I should be able to get in there. Makes a little more noise, but cool. So that's all loose, and then I got like 2 more on the inside. So guys, 2 things. Be observant and absorb it. Like a sponge. Pay attention to what you take apart. Like right there, I knew where all my bolts were after doing it the first time. And then it's just repetition. You just go right to it. And drop your socket out. That doesn't matter. So, I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 up top. I got that 10 mil down low. I'll go ahead and do that now because I remembered I got that one at the bottom of the fender. Jesus, that's a long bolt. Probably could have gotten rid of the back of the light. That's good there. Now let's grab our ring of 15. So, hopefully once I get rid of that HVAC box, this bolt will be easier on this side. In yesterday's video, I plan on getting a new brake booster. This is the original one. Alright. There we go. Okay. Got the bottom one to do. we're good there. I think we're pretty much ready to come out with this. You bastard. This guy wants to stay together. Probably your fault. Over here. There's a bolt in there? Everything's out. It's just the way that. In there. Some guys are probably watching this like cringing. But I'm a body man, so if I dent it, I can fix it. And these are probably going to get repainted. I want to repaint the firewall. Everything under the hood's going to get redone once I do the framework. Which, most of this is already painted once, so all I have to do is clean it, sand whatever chips it's acquired, mask it off, paint it. So pretty much all we got left is the core support. Pretty loose in there. 2 bolts. Well, that's never good. That's loose too. A lot of stuff is loose, guys. And again, I'm not ashamed to own up to it because I did this a long time ago and I missed a lot. The olds, on the other hand, we can drive this car down the road. It is rock solid. I've learned a lot in my 13 years in the trade, and I like to believe I do a decent quality of work. And that's going to be bigger. It's going to be like a 17. So I think, see how this works out here. No, that's not going to work. So we're going to have to get me something here. Off the camera, guys. Are you guys annoyed yet by me constantly looking for tools? I guess it's a way of life in a shop. Oh, at least here, not at work. At work, I got all my tools usually figured out. Here, it's a whole different story and ball game because honestly, I'm not worried about time or efficiency here. My ultimate objective is just to do my job on whatever it is I'm doing. At work, I am constantly under the ticker, so I have to be productive. So organization is key. Usually my tools are either in my box or on my tool cart. That came out real nice actually. But again, it's probably because it was loose. And I don't think how the way these bushings are oriented is good. And I think a lot of that contributed to my gaps always being shitty on this car, and I just chalked it up to I didn't know any better. So hopefully this time around when we do this, I can get some redemption, which I touched on that in a couple of videos from years ago when I was doing the olds and doing the body work, which if you guys are watching this far along into the video, go over to Facebook and like the page, and there's a bunch of pictures from projects from years past before I started doing this whole YouTube thing. I kind of got motivated to do this because a lot of people have been asking me for advice and stuff, and I oblige. I like to help people out with whatever I can. It's an honor if I can help somebody out. And, I understand that if I give people advice, I'm not going to be that person that says, oh, you're being an asshole. No, everybody interprets information differently. And I understand that because when I learned in the trade, I had a rough time because I couldn't process what some people were telling me and teaching me. So I eventually learned that I have to use what they taught me, use what I kind of learned on my own and combine it. So really what I've been doing is a combination of what I've been taught and what I've learned. which is pretty much what it takes. Don't be afraid to try things your way, because it might work for you. Alright, let's split that apart. Uh-oh. Too soon. Cool. We should be able to get this thing off now. Alright. That's off. And I think, as you guys can see, and somebody made the comment in the video from last night about I probably should have blown apart the front end before doing the engine. But the reason why I did the engine first is because getting these engines out of these cars, I know it like the back of my hand pretty much, so it was quick work. I think all in all, I didn't have more than 3 hours between the prep work and getting the engine out. So I did that first just to kind of get motivated to get achievements. So it doesn't make sense on paper, but I just did it that way. Plus, I kind of wanted to separate things to make videos and kind of, I could have probably done all this in a day. But I don't work like that. I do have a full-time job, you know, that whole work thing. So coming home and working every evening isn't something that I usually do a whole lot of. I did it a lot when I was doing the olds, and it worked out really good, but I mean take out. So ideally for that, I want to get the olds and go out of here, so I got to kind of pick a nice day during the week where I can get the car out. We're supposed to get some snow tomorrow, but the car fires up even in the cold, so it doesn't matter. Got to take out the seats, carpet, center console, and take it to the bolts, and also to get some weight out of the car so we can lift it up. So guys, thank you for watching. That kind of concludes today's work. Follow, hit the subscribe button, like, follow us on Facebook at Copper's Garage, and I'm also on Instagram as Copper Cutlass. And I mentioned before, I share a lot of the stuff that I got going on at work, a lot of body work stuff on that page, some of the big wrecks that I do and work on. We will eventually get to doing body work on this car, but probably not this year. This year it's going to be strictly frame and mechanical, and we got a limited budget to work with, which I might actually open up and touch on that once we get into the purchase phase of things. But for now, the next 2 months I'm focusing on the cheap stuff, which is the labor-intensive stuff usually. So the framework and this, and kind of get it ready to spray some color on this. I shouldn't have a whole lot of money into that, but it is labor-intensive. The engine stuff, the transmission stuff is all like evening work. The rear end is evening work, and then just kind of bring it all back together. So then we're going to talk about goals and when I'd like to have this car back. So thanks, guys.